Are you a language learner worrying about if your grammatically correct sentence sounds natural or not?
Personally, I deeply believe that the overwhelming number of dislikes for this channel should be completely and radically eliminated from the past history. Getting tired easily when starting to read a textbook. Spending too much time searching for words instead of memorizing them. Finding example sentences from dictionaries that are not useful at all.
The Resolutions Committee that meets on Saturday evening to negotiate a compromise is therefore likely to fall short. Le Nouvel Observateur, 2003.
As a French learner, I completely feel you. These are common problems we have when learning a new language. But things are changing with the introduction of generative AI tools. Last month, Notion released their new function, Notion AI. As someone who's curious about what can be done by it, I tried out this new function, and frankly speaking, it's beyond my expectation. In this video, I'll create a personalized language learning chapter in front of you by Notion AI. We'll see if Notion AI is capable of being a language learning assistant. Let's get started.
Well, at the beginning, let's create a web page for the outline. List and the grammar points for learning French from A1 to C2. Let's see what will be the result. Alright, this is the outline I get for learning grammar. Because I learned French in my university, and my level is approximately between A1 to A2, and as far as I know, I think the basic topics that are required to be covered for A1 and A2 are already included here. That's good. Now I'm going to ask Notion AI to help me to write an outline for vocabulary. Write vocabulary topics for learning French for level A1, A2, B1, B2, B3, not B3, C1, C2. These are the topics that are required to be covered. And for A1 level, there are some basic topics like greetings, numbers, days, etc. For A2, it is more advanced, like it talks about the cuisines, like the common French expressions and idioms. For B1, it is more developed vocabularies like history, culture, literature, etc. You did a great job, AI. So now this is a page for the outline. I created within like 5 minutes. Now I'm going to ask Notion AI to create a plan for me on how can I learn this within a period of time. And as a down-to-earth person, I'm going to ask Notion AI to create a practical and realistic plan for me. Like, how can I reach C2 from A1 within a month? Let me ask something more practical. Create a learning plan for the above vocabulary and grammar topics for 2 years, specific to every week. Okay. It takes a lot of time. It seems AI is really planning for my future. Holiday break? What the hell is this? It included holiday break. I didn't expect that, frankly speaking. Let me see. It actually creates like a complete plan for 2 years. You can always make your plan more personalized by adding additional information, like I can learn French from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day. I want to have a break for the weekend. I want to repeat what I've learned for every 3 months, etc. And now let's do something more exciting. I'm going to create a personalized trial chapter for you for learning 1 grammar point and 1 vocabulary point. Because currently I'm learning A2 level grammar, so I'm going to pick a grammar topic in B1 level that I'm not that familiar with. Well, I'm going to pick the imperfect tense. Let me create a new page called Trial Chapter. I'm going to ask the Notion AI to explain this topic to me. Explain this French grammar topic to me in English because I cannot understand French. I hope it can include like more information, so I'm going to ask Notion AI to write more on this topic. Explain this topic to me in English in detail and provide me with some examples. I think it now includes more information regarding this topic. Let me insert below. It's more complete than previous version, so I'm going to merge these 2 versions. I think this is the detailed explanation for this topic. And now I'm going to ask Notion AI to summarize this topic for me. So in the future, whenever I want to review this topic, I can look at the summary at the first to have a basic understanding of this topic. Let me change the font a little bit to make it look better. Change it to call out. Okay. Oh, it looks perfect to me. I'm going to create some exercises regarding this topic by my own. Create 10 sentences in French using imperfect tense for B1 learner. Here are 10 sentences Notion AI created using imperfect tense that are suitable for B1 learners to learn. Now I'm going to ask the Notion AI to create exercises based on these sentences. Sentences on imperfect tense. Look at this. Imperfect tense exercises. Exercise 1. Write the following sentences in the imperfect tense. Exercise 2. Complete the following sentences using the imperfect tense of the verb in parentheses. Exercise 3. Translate the following sentences into French using the imperfect tense. These are the exercises my professor normally gave me. Can Notion AI replace my professor? And whenever I finish this exercise, I can ask Notion AI to check whether my answer is correct or not. So I can get the immediate feedback from someone. After the grammar side, let's go to the vocabulary side. I'm going to pick a vocabulary topic I'm going to learn today. What about business and industry? Because I studied business as well. So copy this to trial topic, French vocabulary topic. Business and industry terms in French. Now I'm going to ask Notion AI to generate 20 vocabularies regarding this topic. List 20 French vocabularies on this topic. Let me see the result. Un employé, une entreprise, un bureau, un patron, un collègue. Well, because there are no fixed pattern for many of French words, so just by looking at these words, I cannot pronounce them correctly. So how can I do? Let me show you some tricks. When I was using French vocabulary learning books, I found I had to check the pronunciation of individual words by dictionary by my own, and it takes a lot of time. I always feel discouraged because of this. But now, things are different. Let me ask Notion AI to find the pronunciation and example sentences for this vocabulary. Write French pronunciation, part of speech, explanation, and example sentences for each word with English explanation. Great, it looks really good. And I'm going to put this into my database. And then I'm going to put this information into a table. Input all this information into a table. Oh, there's a grammar mistake. But it's okay, Notion AI is smart, right? You can talk something that are not grammatically correct to Notion AI. Great, insert below. And I'm going to delete this part. Now I'm going to convert this into a database. This is a fantastic function I like a lot. Now I get all my words into a database. The reason why I do this is that it can help me to merge the words from different databases because there's a function of move to in Notion, and I'm going to show you in a minute. Let's delete this, like the first row at first. Delete the first row at first. Turn this into database. We can copy all this and then use move to. We want to move this vocabulary to French vocab. Now they are in the French vocab. I simply merge these two databases, and you can see there is a difference in the creation time. For example, 3 months later, I want to review things I've learned for the first week. Then I can easily create a filter on the created time. Like I want to review the French vocabulary I've learned on 9th of March. Then I can just click this one and it will filter out all the vocabularies I learned at a specific day. I feel like this function is really good for reviewing and reciting vocabulary. Also, you can create fancier things like spaced repetition learning. I believe there are many YouTube videos on this topic. It's basically about creating a plan for you to review these words regularly. As we all know, practice makes perfect. I'm going to create a text, like a reading text based on this vocabulary by Notion AI. Hope this can enhance my reading. Create a reading text about 500 words using these 20 words. Let me be more specific. A French reading text. Let me insert this text below. Because today's topic is business and industry, so it talks a lot of things regarding business and industry. I feel like it's already really good. So this is a text for me to read. And one function I really want to introduce to you is that if you find like a specific paragraph is really difficult to understand, you can ask Notion AI to explain this to you. Explaining grammar used and key vocabulary. Whenever I feel like I don't understand a specific paragraph, I can ask Notion AI to explain this, like a teaching assistant. Here, I just noticed there is a vocabulary called licencier. This is a new vocabulary for me, so I'm going to highlight this vocabulary and copy this vocabulary and paste this vocabulary. Ask Notion AI to create a table of conjugation for this verb. One is present tense and one is imperfect tense. It is really smart because this machine, like this assistant, knows that I'm learning imperfect tense. So apart from showing me like the most basic present tense, it shows me the imperfect tense. Great. Insert below. So here I get a more thorough explanation for this vocabulary. In order to test if we fully understand this text, we can ask Notion AI to create some reading comprehension questions. Create reading comprehension questions about this text. I feel like I'm a professor and I'm creating learning materials for my student. Now it includes not only the grammatical questions, but also the questions related to this article. So I'm going to insert below. These are the questions I'm going to answer. That's already a lot of information for learning. And now I can also create a writing part for myself. And the good thing about using Notion to write is that whenever you finish your writing, you can ask Notion AI to find the mistakes in your writing and explain why there are mistakes. Let me show you an example. I'm going to write based on some vocabularies about job and industry. So this sentence is about like I would like to work in one company. So I have to prepare my CV and my cover letter, which is really difficult because I've never received any professional training. So I'm going to ask Notion AI to find all the mistakes I made in this sentence. Find the mistakes I made in this sentence and explain why they are mistakes. It's really good. I'm going to insert below. So whenever I refer to my own practice, I can know what kind of mistakes I've made so I can avoid making these mistakes in future. Now let me show you the result. These are all things I've created within half an hour. And here is the outline, the study planning, the trial chapter. The trial chapter includes grammar, reading, vocabulary, and writing. Also, I've integrated all the vocabularies into my vocabulary database. We've been building up a mature and comprehensive educational system for decades. So I understand it takes time for educators and policymakers to form new rules and regulations for incorporating this disruptive technology into our education. But we, as individuals, don't need to wait for them to catch up. We can start playing around with generative AI tools and personalize our learning experience to make it cool and productive.
There are times when Notion AI is not concise enough. Let me show you an example. How dare it waste my audience time? Let me provide you with a more concise version.